Hey guys, it's Jose Savolza. This week's podcast is going to be a little different. It's a little behind the scenes on a business planning session that I hosted here live in my marketplace. I hope you guys check it out, share it, learn from it. Talk to you soon. Testing, can you guys hear me online? Thumbs up?
I think we're good.
Perfect.
Recording in progress.
Make sure I hit record. All right, guys, good morning. Good morning, everybody here. How's everybody? Not everybody yell
We're good.
of excitement.
We're great.
We have a live audience here. If you guys can do me a favor, if whoever's hooked up to the Wi-Fi here, if you guys can disconnect, just so that I don't lose anything here to our online audience, that would be great. We have a huge community on right now. If you guys are online, if you guys can make sure you mute yourself out, that would be great as well. Perfect. Really quickly, if you guys can put it in the chat box, where are you guys from? I know where some of you guys are from. We're actually filming here direct from an office here in Palmdale. Everybody say hi. Look at that. We are here live, coming from you live. I love a live audience. They're muted, so they can't. You don't hear anything. You only hear my voice for some reason. But if you guys can put down where you're from, that way the live audience can actually see where you're from. That'd be great. We got people from Glendale, the AV, Palmdale, New Jersey, Riverside, the Philippines. Oh my goodness, the Philippines. Lancaster, Chicago, El Paso's in the house. Lancaster, El Paso, Fresno, Visalia, El Paso, Boston, Massachusetts, Ridgecrest, Visalia. Keep it coming, guys. Keep it coming. Where are you guys from? Boston, Mass. We have a nice audience from the East Coast. And let me just make sure everyone is muted here. Visalia, everybody is awesome. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I want to be very respectful of everybody's time here as well. For everybody that does not know me, my name's Jose. I am the founder of the real estate coaching company that you're going to be hearing from today. And welcome everybody to the 2024 business planning session. And as I've stated to a lot of you guys before, 2024 starts now. And the reason why 2024 starts now is because the likelihood and the probability of you opening up an escrow right now, it's going to close in January because of the holidays that are coming up. I mean, everyone's talking about Halloween is next week. Everyone's talking about parties and what they're going to dress up as. And then a month from now, people are going to be talking about Thanksgiving and the turkey and all the goodies that they're going to be eating. And quickly after that, it's going to be about Christmas and then New Year's. And because of all of these holidays that are coming up very, very quickly, we have to be very aware of the time now. Because again, if we open up something now, the likelihood is going to close in January and into February, into the first quarter. So that's why we like to go off of a 14-month planning session versus a 12-month planning session, all right? As we move on, I like to always start my meetings with victories. Who has a victory that they would love to share? If someone online wants to unmute themselves and share a victory, if someone here wants to share a victory, I want you guys to understand that when you share your victory, however little that you feel it is, you're inspiring somebody else. So who has a victory that they'd like to share?
I can share.
All right, Dejan.
Yeah.
Dejan is from New Jersey, so everybody, let's give Dejan a nice round of applause. Go ahead, Dejan.
So,
Can you guys
over
hear?
the week, I was able to open up 4 new escrows, and one came from a listing that I literally took last Friday, and I ended up bringing a buyer on the back end. Yeah, I bought a buyer on the back end, and another escrow opened up. I found a buyer for that as well.
So listings, and you're just double ending every single listing you're taking right now, right?
Pretty much.
Let's go. Let's give it up to Dejan. Nice job. Nice job. Someone online said being here in this Zoom is a victory. Thank you, Jeanette, for sharing that. Anyone else want to share a victory? Don't have everybody like jump over one another when they want to share either.
Okay, I'll share.
Yes, Rocio.
Well, yeah. So I was working with this client last year in October, and she was really difficult. And so I kept showing her houses, and like, you know, she ended up started working with a different agent, and she came back. So now we got into escrow, but you know, it just kind of shows you that even if you lose something, make sure you keep like
Following up.
yeah,
No,
following up and like don't give up. And I also started receiving. I'm like 2.5 years into the business, so I started to get calls from clients or from potential buyers that met me 2 years ago or
Nice.
a year ago. They're like, "Oh, you were helping us. We're ready to buy now." So it's just kind of like that's a reminder that just keep going, even if you're not seeing it right now, because it's gonna come back.
absolutely. So let's give it up to Rocio, okay? So her victory was that she lost a client, continued to follow up, and then now has that client in escrow. And now a lot of the clients that she's been working with the last couple of years are, you know, because of her continued persistence and follow up, they're now coming to light, and now she's working with them. So nice job, okay? Someone else said waking up today was a great victory. Someone said my guy. I'm excited for my guy. So nice.
I'm Jose.
Who's this?
It's Val.
Hey, Valerie. Go ahead and share your
Hey.
victory.
Okay, so about a month ago, I did an ultimate prospecting day with a handful of my agents. One of the agents got a client on the phone that was kind of on the fence, didn't know if they really wanted to buy. He was talking up, you know, the whole lending side of things. We were able to do a live transfer over to me, got the application done, got the guy pre-approved, and he actually went under contract on Monday. So he went from not being sure he wanted to buy on, you know, the beginning of the month to being under contract today.
Nice. Great job, Valerie. Valerie's one of our clients in Colorado. She's a lender, so this isn't just for real estate agents. So thank you so much for sharing, Valerie, okay? Someone said, I learned some new social media skills because they're not really technology savvy. That's a great victory, okay? So let's go ahead and move on, okay, just to make sure.
Jose?
Yes.
Just a victory for me and my family is, I think, due to consistency and hard work for the year, we were able to save up and did a almost 2-week vacation in Hawaii. So
Nice.
Just recently got back from that, and we'd never been to Hawaii. Always wanted to go, but saved up, worked hard, and made some memories.
Nice. Great job, Mark. I'm glad that you and your family were able to share those memories. So nice job. All right.
I want to share something too.
Go for it, Will.
We're here at EXP, Veronica and myself, and we focus on sales when we were rocketed in sales, but we also focus on showing this platform to other agents. And we had 2 agents join us, so now it brings us up to 68 agents in 2 years. So
Nice.
we're pretty pumped about that.
Nice. Let's give you guys a nice big round of applause. Great job, guys. Okay. All right, guys, moving forward, what's on the agenda today? Well, today we're going to do a quick recap on what happened this year. And for a lot of us, we got to really understand what's been going on this year, okay? We're going to talk about 2024, your plan, your numbers, your business. We're going to be talking about creating a predictable business moving forward, and then we're going to end this with a Q&A session at the end, all right? Some announcements really quickly. We want to welcome some new members. We have a lot of new memberships coming along, and I want to make sure that everyone gets their welcome. So please, everybody, welcome Emily Shakowski, if I'm pronouncing that right, from Palmdale. Let's give her a big round of applause. Trina Engel from Palmdale as well. Let's give her a big round of applause. Ethos International, they're a real estate brokerage here in California. There's a couple people from Ethos here live, and there's a bunch of you guys online as well. So let's give you guys a big round of applause. Daniel Tesarras from Denver, Colorado. Let's give Daniel a big round of applause. Welcome. Jasmine Thompson from Vineland, New Jersey. Let's give Jasmine a big round of applause. Welcome. And Exclusive Mortgage, which is where we're actually doing this live session. So thank you, Ruben. Thank you from everybody. Exclusive. Let's give you guys a big round of applause as well. Okay. Also, another really proud announcement that I'm super proud of is my new podcast that's actually been dropped a couple of weeks ago. If you guys can do me a huge favor and show some support by not only listening but sharing, giving it a 5-star review. I just wanted to do something different when it came to a podcast. I wanted to share some real, authentic stories about who I am. what makes me. I've had my wife on the podcast. You know what I mean? That way she's kind of sharing her perspective on what it is to kind of be married to an entrepreneur. You know, and all of us here are entrepreneurs, and we need the support of our spouse and our partners for us to be able to do what we do. So it kind of gives you somewhat of an insight of what she deals with, because she deals with a lot when it comes to me. So if you guys can do me a favor and check it out, it's called Making an Impact. It's on Spotify and on YouTube. And again, if you guys can subscribe and share and give it a follow, that'd be awesome, okay? November and December outlook. I want to start off by saying that all of our scripts, and I'll be talking a little bit more about what I mean by our scripts, but all of our scripts will be all listing based, okay? So when it comes to absentee owners, when it comes to notice of defaults, when it comes to holiday objections, because we are in the holiday season, we are going to get objections. We're going to be going over those, etc. Anything that has to do with how to get and how to procure a listing in this market, we're going to be talking about it during our scripts, okay? Our off week is going to be November 20 to the 24th. That is Thanksgiving week, so there will be no classes that week. Our No Matter What event. Our No Matter What event, for those that actually know how I operated my brokerage when I had my brokerage, I had an annual event called the No Matter What. That'll be a pretty cool event where it just allows you to dream a little bit. It allows you to write down some really important goals and milestones that you want to achieve no matter what. That's why it's called No Matter What. And that'll be on the 21st. I know it's Thanksgiving week. This is something that I just like to host around that time, because during the holidays, we like to dream. During the holidays, we should allow ourselves to dream. And that event is really just going to be more on dreaming and whatnot. And I'll have more information about that later, okay? Our next level leadership retreat, that is December 15th and 16th, location to be determined. This is for my brokers, for my team leads only. We're going to just hibernate ourselves for 2 days, probably somewhere in Temecula, and just really plan out the year when it comes to those large teams that I have the privilege to coach. Myself and John Kang have the privilege to talk to. We're going to just get to know each other on a more intimate level, really find out what makes our offices work, what's not working, and create a larger community within ourselves, okay? And again, our Christmas and New Year's break is quickly following up after that, all right? Also, some success stories. I want to share some success stories with you guys. First of all, I want to introduce George Cardenas to kind of give you an idea. I've known George for several years already, and he's not on the call right now. He's actually flying. Kind of pretty cool that he's actually taking more time off, because it's something that he never did before. In 2022, he did 26 closings. He worked with 15 buyers, 11 sellers, and he made about $250,000. And that was in 2022. If you fast forward to how I've been working with him this year so far, he's closed 39. He's got another 3 in escrow. He's got 3 active listings, 2 more coming soon, 22 sellers, 25 buyers, and those buyers are now being distributed to his team members. And his GCI year to date is $430,000. That's a 72% increase in his GCI, okay? While a lot of other people are taking a step back, he is stepping forward, okay? And his massive production changes have been really focused on working on his database, okay? Also, Mo is from Visalia. His 2022 stats, and just so you get an understanding, Mo works in the price range of around 200,000, maybe 250. Kind of like what Palmdale was 5-7 years ago, or maybe 20 years ago. It kind of went like this, you know what I mean? His GCI last year was 136. His GCI year to date is 143. That represents about a 5% increase in his income. Massive production changes have been more clarity and just staying consistent to his business. Also, Carlos Martinez. Carlos is a native here to Palmdale. I actually had the privilege of working with Carlos directly when he started in the business about 2 years ago. In 2022, which was his first full year, he made $99,000. Year to date, he's just under $200,000, has an additional 3 escrows pending. That represents a 78% increase in his income. And the biggest change is mindset and is coaching. So let's give them so far a big round of applause. And last but not least, Valerie. Valerie is one of our lending partners in Colorado. Her GCI, whoops, wrong one. That's not Valerie. Whoops, I must have mixed up the slides here. But anyways, Valerie, if I remember, because I remember her stats, and this goes to show you that a live human being put these together, okay? Valerie, I think, is closed year to date, if I remember, 76 families. So she's a lender, so she's closed 76 units. And I'm not going to make any formal announcements, but we have some big plans for Valerie here in the near future with our coaching company, okay? So now let's get to work. Who's ready to kind of get to work now? Say aye. Who's ready to get to work? Say aye. Aye. Are you sure? Yes. All right. Opening thought. The scariest place to be is the same place as last year. Someone wrote that. I think I got it somewhere online, but it made so much sense and it resonates so much with exactly with what we're doing here today. The scariest place to be is the same place that you were last year. How many of us can be very vulnerable and say, man, I'm in the same place today than what I was the year before? Or maybe I'm in a worse place. You know, and if you guys are in a worse place, that's fine, because it's the truth for some of us. And I think we have to accept not only the truth, but we have to also make those changes so that we can be better. So let's take a look at what we've done this year so far. And I've prepared most of you guys, and I hope you guys have this information in front of you or at your fingertips. But you need to know, how many closings have you done year to date? Not, I think I've closed this many. Not, I got to look at my numbers. You should know how many closings you've done year to date. You also need to know how many pendings you have that'll close by the end of the year. You know, I have, again, I work with a lot of members that work with a lot of new construction developers, and they get those new construction contracts, into escrow, but those are sometimes 6 months out. So you need to make sure that you are changing your plan to take that into consideration. So you need to know how many of those pending escrows that you have open will close by the end of this year. Third is, how many escrows do you have pending that'll close after the year? And again, this relates to the people that deal with a lot of new construction, okay? Or maybe those escrows that you're opening up now that are 45 days or 60 days or someone, okay? You need to know how many pendings that you're working with now that'll close after the end of the year. For my lending partners, how many units will you close by the end of the year? I kind of gave you guys a little bit of a heads up. You guys need to know these numbers. How many pending units will you close after 2023? Next question, how much GCI have you earned? Do you guys know? Do you guys know what your average GCI is? You need to know how much money you've made, because then you start to set the bar, set standards when it comes into your business. Do you know where the majority, or do you know the source of where your business is coming from? For some of us, it's database. For some of us, it's social media. For some of us, it's just, people know it, referrals, whatnot. For some of us, it's calling. You need to know where the majority of your business is coming from. And lastly, are you happy with the results you've gotten so far? Now, I do want to tell you that this business planning session is going to be a little different than maybe sessions that you've dealt with in the past. And what I mean by that is, yeah, you'll review your numbers and you got to write down numbers. And then for 2024, you'll write down what you plan to do. But there really is no strategy or no tips or anything that'll help you get there. All you have in front of you is a number. But do you actually have the plan to get there? Do you know how to get there? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? Now, for the future, for 2024 in the future, how many days will you work in 2024? Have you even thought about that? There's 366 days in 2024 because we have leap year this year. Now, the reason I know is because I'm already thinking ahead. I'm already thinking what's going to happen in 2024. You need to know that there's going to be 366 days this year. How many of those days will you work? Coach John Kang says, if you work 68% of the year, you will make lots of money. However, if you take that same 68% and you apply it to school, if you got a 68% in school, what does a 68% represent? What grade does it represent? A D. Passing. Barely passing. So if you take that understanding and at a D level performance, apply that to your business, you'll make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. 68% of 366 days is equivalent to about 248 days. So the other remaining days, 120 some odd days, that should already factor in your vacations, your time off, you're sick, I don't feel like working, I feel depressed, whatever. All the 120 some odd days that I didn't even put in your plan should already be factored in there. Do you know that? For 2024, how many listings will you take? I'm going to talk a lot about listings today. A lot. How many units will you close? For my lending friends, how much volume will you close? I know you guys love working on volume. And ultimately, how much GCI will I earn? And for those of you that don't know what the terminology is, GCI stands for gross commission income. How much gross commission income will you earn? So far, so good? So the question is, how will 2024 be better? What do I have to do to make sure that 2024 is actually better than 2023? Because the reality is that we were doing this last year. In October 2022, the question that we were asking ourselves was, how can I make 2023 better? But then 2023 came and it slapped us across the face. Interest rates right now are at what, 8%? Did we anticipate that to come? There was talks about it, but then it's here. Now what? Well, let's talk about that. There are three main areas, and I don't care if you're a real estate agent, I don't care if you're a lender, I don't care if you're an insurance agent, I don't care what you do, there are three main things that you need to focus on this year if you want a better 2024. And those three things are your skill set, your leads, and the systems you have in place. Just those three things. And I'm going to break those three things down for you. Skills. The best of the best never stop developing their skills. Take your skills to the next level to increase your conversion ratio. That's all we're looking for, is your conversion ratio. So if I put you in front of 10 people right now, and if you're able to close by yourself 1 out of 10, your conversion ratio is 10%. But through developing your skill set, if you get placed in front of those same 10 people and now you're able to close 4, did you work more? No, but you've quadrupled your business because your skill set is that much better. Does that make sense? Yes. You need to focus on that every single day. Your sales skills. Well, sales skills represents role play and script mastery. That's one way on how you can develop your skill set. How many of us here role play consistently? By a show of hands. Maybe not many of you. I'll tell you, if you're not doing it every day, you're setting yourself up for failure. I can name names that you probably don't even know these people exist. But the reality is that these people are closing 100, 150, 200 deals a year, not giving a crap about what's going on in the world, in the economy. And the number one thing that they do is that they practice role play every single day. The second skill set that you need to build is your database. You need to learn how to build it, and you need to know how to nurture it. And the third thing is your presentation skills. Because if you were like me 10 years ago, you're like, well, pues si quiere, pues si acaso, well then, okay, I'll call you later. I was winging things 10 years ago or more. I did not practice my presentation skills. I used to be a nice, handsome looking guy. That does not get by anymore. I'm not that nice, handsome guy anymore that I once was. It doesn't get me far anymore. I got to be on point when it comes to my presentation skills. I need to be confident because confidence will sell. Second thing, leads. When you have no leads, you got nothing. I've said it to some of you guys, and I'll say it to those people that have never heard me say this. You guys are not real estate agents within the walls that you're in. You guys are lead generators. That is your number one responsibility and your number one duty, is that you must generate leads. You have no leads, that equals no appointments, and no appointments equals what? No closings. And no closings means what?
No money.
No money. Remember that old song, if you got no money, honey, I ain't got no time?
Yeah.
You got to focus on leads. You got to know where they're coming from. Where are your leads coming from? Database, social media, open house, past clients, the bar. I'd say that those are referrals. You got to know where they're coming from. Now, if you really want to get technical, what percentage of your business does that represent? That's another conversation. Main sources of leads. Your database. Grow it, but you have to ask, what value are you giving your database? Remember, this is an exchange of value here. This isn't, hey, Fernando, do you know anyone that's looking to buy or sell right now? You're always trying to take. You're always trying to ask for business. What are you giving them? This is an exchange of value. What are you giving them? You got to think about that. What value am I providing to my database? Does your database stop answering your phone calls because they always know that you're going to ask them for something? That means you're not giving them value. Social media is another great way for leads. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go over, and I've actually provided a content guide for you guys. Calls. You got to make calls. I'm shy, Jose. I don't feel like it, Jose. I don't know what to say, Jose. You got to work on that skill, because if you ain't calling, someone else is. You got to build your skill set when it comes to making phone calls and direct mail. Those are the 4 main sources of lead generation that you guys should be focused on. There's more. Don't get me wrong. There's more. And I can be here all day and turn blue in the face and tell you that there's more. But I'm telling you, this is what's working right now. If you focus on these 4, you will get more business. So let's break each one of those down now. Your daily intention when it comes to your database should be to grow this database that you have. And if you don't have one, you better go get one right now. I don't care if it's an Excel sheet. I don't care if it's free. I don't care if it's Lion's Desk. I don't care if it's KV Core. I don't care. You just got to have it. Which one works the best? The one that you use works the best. You got to add 5 people a day. 5 people a day should be your daily intention. How do I get 5 people a day? Well, you got to go out there and work. Remember that old Bible verse, Matthew 7:7, seek and then you'll find? You got to go look for it. Then you'll find it. Go look for it. Well, how do I get 5 people a day? Why don't you do a giveaway? Why don't you organize a giveaway? Why don't you send personalized emails? Ask for information. Who here has a pet that they love and cherish like if it was their own child? Imagine getting a treat for your pet in the mail from your real estate agent or your lender or whomever. Do you think that would be like leave an impression? 100%. 100%. You think that they'll think of you later? 100%. Did you ask them about real estate? No. You got to send these types of emails to get information. You have a dog? Cool. What's his or her name? You have a cat? What's his or her name? What do they like? What are your kids' birthdays? What's your favorite book? When's your anniversary date? Things like that. Client appreciation events. And it sucks that George is not here with us because George and his wife Gina did a client appreciation event on the 15th of October. They had 200 people at their appreciation event. And as a result of them putting on an event, they just got so many leads from that event by itself without even asking for it. They already have pending deals when they come back from vacation, ready to pop. For those that wonder on cost, well, I mean, it could be something very minimal. You can go all out. It depends on you. Remember, you are nurturing and you're providing value to your clients. Do your clients deserve the best? Then you need to give them the best. Next, social media. Another great way to get leads. But why should people even engage with you? Why should they even engage with you? Well, let me give you some ideas. The purpose of social media is to educate, to entertain, to motivate, to build connection and trust, and to build community. Those 4 or 5. I lost count with my fingers.
Which means like you already received it.
Thank you. Social media should be used for those 5 reasons: to educate, to entertain, to motivate, to build trust and connection, and to build a community with your people. Well, let's break that down too. How do I educate my people? How do I allow them to engage with me? Well, educate them with home maintenance tips. Educate them with a DIY tip. Educate them with buyer or seller tips. Educate them with what's the biggest ROI for sellers. Right now, sellers are trying to maximize the most that they can get for their home. True or not true? Well, give them, hey, if you do this, you're probably going to spend this, but you'll get this much more. Those are how you can educate your social media audience. What are some frequently asked questions that people are asking you? Answer those questions. You know, one thing that I get asked all the time is blank. Free resources. People love free. People love free. Give them free resources. Don't know what a free resource is? We have something awesome called Google and ChatGPT. Figure it out. How to blank. Create a video, create a post, educate people on that, and educate them on the market. Educate them on the market. But educate people on the market based off of your perspective and understanding of the market. Don't just share someone's image or the numbers, or because quite frankly, no one cares. Everyone knows that the interest rate is 8%, but what does that mean to them? What is your perception of that? Next one, entertainment. Entertain people with maybe a post of your family. Entertain people with Throwback Thursday. Today's Throwback Thursday. Flashback Friday. Client events. Home tours. BTS means behind the scenes. I know there's people here that do behind the scenes. I love those because you see the video and it's nice and professionally edited, and then you see the behind the scenes and people are falling in pools and their chanclas are falling off and doing all sorts of stuff. People want to see that. Before and after. This house looked like this before. Look at it now. Before and after stuff. I think I put home tours in there as well. Someone here that I know, that I coach, he did something called ETV Homes. Remember that old MTV show, Cribs? Oh no, he did ETV Cribs. And he did it in his version in his marketplace out of Texas.
Wait, what is ETV his name?
ETV, because E was for his name. His name is Eric. So ETV Cribs instead of MTV Cribs. Oh, you guys. So he did that. He's actually here. He's probably there smiling right there. See him? He's right there. See? Property of the month. Find the best priced property out there and showcase it. These are great ways to capture engagement with your social media audience. Next one, motivation. Well, we all do the motivational post, so I threw in motivation post in there. Why should you buy or sell now? But add some urgency into that post. Create that sense of urgency on why should they be motivated to buy or sell now. Market stats, again, use your own perspective. The best priced house on the market. The best loan product on the market. There's people here that are promoting a new HELOC with what? Stated income. And I don't need your documents. And if your home has equity, I'll give you a HELOC. Here you go. That's a great loan product for those properties that have a ton of equity, because then you can then take that HELOC and go buy something else and then create, cash flow and investments. You see what I'm saying? Promote that stuff. Next one, building connection and trust. Share something personal. Whether it's a news or updates on your family, share something personal. People love to see behind the curtains. Share stories from a client. Testimonials of clients. This was some of your victories. I was working with this client. They decided to work with someone else, but then they came back, and now that they came back, now they're in escrow. Share those stories. Document your journey. How many newer agents do we have here? A couple of you guys. Document your journey. If you guys were to go to my Facebook and stalk it from like 13 years ago, I'll look at that and I'll be like, what the heck was I doing back then? My body was on Elvis Presley, and I was a flying Cupid, and I did all sorts of stuff back then, but it documented my journey. And you get to see the evolution and transformation and how far you've come. There's someone back in the Inland Empire that I used to coach several years ago, brand new agent, and he would walk around and door knock, and he'd say, you know what, today was a bad day. And he put that on camera. I knocked 100 doors, no one answered, a dog barked at me, I almost got bit by another one. He documented that journey. Now the guy's a wholesaling investor, makes $500,000 a year. He can go back and say, wow, this is how I started. People love to see that. They love to see those nice, happy stories. Share your team post. Next one, building community. Take a selfie or a video from a restaurant and geotag it, meaning put that location on your post. I'm always looking for a good menudo spot if you guys know of one. If it wasn't for you, I didn't know that they had a full-blown panaderia in Little Rock. I'm going to go over there. Like, I wish we had some of that here today. But share that, because people in the community want to know where I can get certain things. Photos from a community event or that you attended. Community news. Who's hiring? Best in town. It could be a restaurant. It could be a movie that just came out. Share that stuff. People want to build community and connect with you. And this is a great way on how do you do that. The next thing that you see on the screen and in your little packets is, here's the actual calendar. Here's a full-blown calendar that you can always go back to and review. And if you want ideas on when to do what, here it is. On Sunday, I'll do an educational video. On Monday, I'll do a motivational video. On Tuesday, I'll go and create some connection, and I'll actually go live on Instagram or something like that. This is a template that you guys can use on creating content. Because I get that question all the time. What do I post? What do I do? What do I share? Well, there's an idea. Here's an idea for you guys. I'm telling you, this session is different. We're going to go into how am I going to get these numbers that I just wrote down on my piece of paper. Let's go into that, okay? We're going into that. Next way is calls. I said it before, I'll say it again. You got to make those calls because if you're not, someone else is. There's someone else not here today that's making phone calls right now. There's someone in Hawaii, because they're 4 hours behind us, making phone calls. And in Hawaii, it's what? Maybe 7, 8 o'clock? But they're making phone calls because they don't care what time it is. They're making phone calls to their expired listings over there. Call your database. Circle prospect. Call expireds. Call for sale by owners. Call absentee owners. Call NODs. There's a lot of NODs starting to hit. There's a lot of NODs starting to hit, unfortunately. A lot of forbearance starting to come up, and people are not being able to pay all this money that during COVID they were allowed to kind of do little things because they lost their job or whatever. Now that deferment is due, and guess what? It's due in full. They're not tagging it onto the loan, by the way. Call those people. And guess what? Call investors. Because there's a lot of there's investors here right now that would love for you to bring them a property that they can flip, that they can wholesale, that they can buy and hold. And in any one of those cases, I'm sure that they'll either give you the listing back or give you a finder's fee or something. Call them because there's a lot of them. I'm looking to buy. Call me. I don't care. I'll look at the deal. I'll even help you how to put the deal together. Direct mail. Now, the difference with direct mail, or the different approach that I want you guys to take with direct mail, is simply ask them a question. The traditional way that we send out direct mail is we send out the big postcards. They're nice and colorful. I just sold this house. This is all the stuff that's around the market, and this is for sale. Blah 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 blah. Right? Where does that mail go? To the trash. So you just spent a couple $100 and it's going straight into my trash can. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. Direct mail doesn't work, Jose. Well, you're doing it wrong. Ask a question. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Seller, would you consider selling your home at blank to a client of mine? Sincerely, yours truly, Jose, and all your data goes right below it. You're asking a question.
Are you putting this on a postcard or what?
Nope, I am putting this on a blank piece of paper that I'm handwriting, and a great question, by the way, because you have to handwrite this stuff. The probability of them opening up your letter is increased dramatically. Again, we're looking for conversion ratios. Is increased dramatically by them seeing that someone hand wrote them a letter. And don't ask me, oh, can I, send it out to an automated machine that does the pen right? No. Write it yourself. Remember, seek and you'll find. And I know you guys aren't that busy. You guys can write 10 letters a day. It's not that hard. You're not that busy. I know it. Your numbers tell you right there you're not that busy. You think you're busy, but that's a different conversation we'll have for another day.
What's a good item of value to put in these two?
Just ask them a question. Don't even overthink it. When you create a system for direct mail, the easiest way to approach it is to make sure that it's easy and duplicatable, because then you can leverage someone else to do it for you. If you add little other things like gift cards, it becomes expensive for most people to do. And then they just don't do it, which is why direct mail isn't done a lot or consistently, because it cost them $200-300, and then it cost them $200-300 again, and then they see no results, and then they go, I did it and it didn't work. But they're doing it because they're spending so much money. Systems. Create leverage and allow you to scale. Without systems, you won't grow and you'll get stuck and frustrated. Who's been in the business for like 10 plus years by a show of hands? Have you guys been stuck at a certain level of production?
Right now, this market sucks.
A lot of it will be based on systems. I'll get deeper into that in a different conversation. But you have to create systems. Here are the few main systems that I want you to focus on. Your morning routine. And I know most of you that are hearing my voice here live or online, you guys do not have a morning routine. You think you have a morning routine because you get up and you get ready and you show up to the office, but that is not a routine that is conducive to production. Create a morning routine that allows you to produce, that allows you to then go into the next system, which is your lead generation process. You need to create a system and a process revolved around lead generation. Create your process when it comes to buyers, sellers. And when I say create a process, I literally mean step 1, step 2. If you guys are more visual, create a flow chart, whatever works. But you got to create a process because, quite frankly, the biggest lesson I learned when I didn't have a system, I'd be on vacation and my laptop would be out, my phone would be ringing, and I'm there, but I'm not there. When you have a system in place, you can go anywhere in the world and the system takes over. And it's still generating your business. And it's still going through the process. You got to create your systems. Even for escrow. Create your escrow process. As real estate agents, there's a process we follow for a buyer, right? Once it hits an escrow, you got to do inspections, you got to do disclosures and blah, 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 blah. For a seller, it's a little bit different, right? You do disclosures. You let them know there will be inspections. You brief them a little bit. Slightly different, and then they merge back. You got to learn how to train people, and you got to empower them. Allow them to work your system. This is where I had a lot of problem with, because I can be a little bit of a control freak. I still have problems with this. Ask our director of operations. She hates the fact that I don't allow her to do some things. I'm working on it. Okay? I'm working on it. But again, if you don't allow someone to do it, if you don't empower them to do it, you'll never create leverage. And guess what? For those people that are in this process, allow the other person to make mistakes. Give them grace, because God knows you made a ton of mistakes when you were growing. I shouldn't say growing up, when you were younger in the business. That's why I said train, empower others, and allow them to grow. All right? Any questions, comments, concerns, any hallucinations so far with anything that I've shared? Anything? Yes, questions.
I feel like GCI-wise, I'm always on track and I go above every single year, but I feel the most stagnant ever because you feel like you're failing all the time. How do you combat that?
So your challenge is that you're making more money, but you feel stale.
Spinning my wheels way more. Like last year was like coming to us in droves, right?
Yeah.
And this year I'm working way harder to have this still a great result, but it's like defeating too.
Well, number one, a lot of people are in the same position, and number two, it's an area where you can work on in your systems, in your processes. That's something that I had to have a huge reality check on for me, because we're growing. As you can see, there's I don't know how many some odd people here, but with that growth, you're like, oh my God, I feel like I got to do more. I got to do more. Our business, our GCI is growing, our revenue is growing, but I don't have enough systems in place so that I don't feel overwhelmed. Okay? I'm going to go quickly because my partner John Kang is actually going to take over for the next 3 hours. So I'm just kidding. That was a joke. That was a joke, okay? So please help me welcome John Kang to the call and to present. John, my man, are you there?
I am here. Allow me to share my screen. So if you want to make me host.
All yours. All yours.
All right, everybody. Guys, those of you that are, we're going to have some honest conversations today, and we're going to have a great 2024. Would we all agree on that?
Yes.
We're almost going to predict our habits, and because we're creature of our habits, we're going to determine what's going to happen, and we're going to scale back, reverse engineer it, and we're going to do some productive things to be very profitable in 2024. So some of these conversations that we're going to have, it's going to be uncomfortable. Why? Because it's ultimate accountability. So if you're coaching with me personally, turn on your cameras right now. If you're coaching with me, yeah, that's right. Turn on your cameras. It's about accountability. Yeah, exactly. Okay, here we go. I love it. Right? Hey, if you're used to who I am, this is what it is. All right? Let's get it going. Can everyone see my screen? Give me a thumbs up. Cool. Some of you, those are your thumbs, but it's okay. Here we go. Guys, discussion points in 2024 that's going to affect your business, whether it goes negative or positive. I'm going to go through these stuff. You're going to be like, man, yeah, it's going to come up. I'm already telling you that's going to come up. Okay? So let's not get surprised by it. But talk about the market, what it's doing, where is it going? There's going to be these. It doesn't matter if it's the high market, the low market, the normal market. There's always going to be talks about it, right? And are you going to let that affect your business in a bad way, in a good way? You decide. The next one, interest rate. But John, interest rates are so high. Guys and gals, are there deals being done as we speak? Yeah, that's right. So then, if the high interest rate is really getting rid of what? Unqualified, unmotivated people. Right? So the complaining of, oh, the interest rates are high. Look, we're going to have some honest conversations. You complaining about the market, no one really cares about. Nobody cares. Stop complaining. Okay? Next one, the buyer commission lawsuit. That's a talk of the town these days. We don't know how that's going to end up. We don't know how it's going to position itself in the next 6 months, a year, 18 months, 24 months. But this is what I do know, is that it doesn't matter which direction it goes. That calls for a lot of agents that are doing a lot of buyer deals. Guess what? It's time to level up our skill set, right? Our dialogue, our objection handling, not to provide, not that you don't provide value, but to elaborate what that value is and have it clearly be understandable to the buyers that you guys are representing. All right? And these things are going to happen. Chasing of the squirrels, guys. Every single year, there's always something new. There's always something new. Oh man, that's a new thing. I got to go this way. Oh man, I want to look at that. Oh man, I want to talk to that person. Oh man, the new marketing stuff. Right? The chasing of the squirrels will get you lost. And I'll say this, guys. A lot of us are aimless, not because we don't have a destination to hit. We're aimless because we have too many things to hit. Is that making sense, everybody? It's just too much. And I'll definitely talk about that a little bit more in the slide deck here. The real estate as a practice does not make it a business. What is your standard operating procedure? Do you even have one? It's time to develop what that looks like. And Jose mentioned it, right, a few slides back. My coach used to tell me, guys, customer service itself is very black and white. But customer experience is full color. That means it's pre, during, and post. Right? About the dogs and the cats. What if they have small children? You want to send them little corner covers like the gel ones? Let them know that they're just more than just a transaction. Right? What does your standard operating procedure look like? You show me your SOP. That's what it stands for, standard operating procedure. I'll show you your productivity. The next one. Because the chasing of the squirrels, we're always adding new stuff on our plate. Instead of looking wider, guys, look deeper. The current database you have now, the people you do real estate transactions with, there's business there. The relationship has been built. We simply do not ask for business. Ask for business. Does everyone understand what a non-real estate transaction is? Some of you? Do you guys buy coffee? Do you guys go to the dry cleaners? Do you do these things? Put gas in your car, all this stuff? Yeah, and there's vendors there. I give you the permission, if you're giving money to somebody else for their services and their product, you have earned the right to ask for business. Are we doing these things? Not finding a coach or a mentor. Guys, and I'm not even talking about this coaching program. Go find a mentor. Go find a coach that has done what you want to do all this time. There's people in your office right now that are doing what you want to do. Go talk to them. Right? Oh, but John, like, that's so much time and it's going to cost me money. And how is that working out for you guys? We got great leaders on this call as we speak. Reach out to them. Ask for advice. And you'll see the top producers, the top leaders in the industry, they're an open book. They're willing to share. So find a coach or a mentor. Excessive brand building or farming efforts. Guys, and I've said this on an earlier call this morning. I had an interesting conversation with an agent. And they just wanted to build their brand. And I asked them, how many deals do you do a year? He said 6. It's been like that for the last, 5, 6 years? What good is a brand if there's no production behind it? If your product doesn't speak for itself, what good is branding? Everyone know what Coca-Cola is? Pepsi? Yeah? Sprite? 7-Up? What as soon as you open that can and that product tastes like dirt? What does the branding do then at that point? Guys, it's got to be production-based. And I'm not saying don't build your brand or don't do farming, but the production has to stay behind that, right? That has to lead that charge. The next one, not developing relationship with affiliates and leveraging each other to enhance business. Guys, there's a lot of lenders and affiliates and all right? We work with a lot of people. And what I see in the industry is we're always trying to get up one on the other. Like, what can you do for me type of industry with the vendors? Build a relationship. Build a strong, deep relationship with your affiliates. Yes, we utilize each other's employees. They're not there for you to abuse them either. Right? Enhance that relationship with having great conversations, mastermind. I'm sure they have great ideas that you can implement on your business. Not working on our skill set, not role playing. Guys, the most dangerous position we can be in as real estate agents is when we think we know it all. Like, it's done. Like, hey, my knowledge is full now. My brain is good. I've learned everything. I don't need to come to these role plays or work on daily skill sets because it's not for me. Guys, the messages that we give on a daily, it may sound the same. Maybe. But when you're ready to level up, guess what? That message hits different. You understand it differently. It may be the exact same message, but it'll hit different. So not worked on your skill set. And there's going to be times in 2024, but I have the stomach ache. I just can't make it today. I didn't get up early enough. I stayed up last night, binge watching whatever on Netflix. It's going to happen. Next one, listening to non-active realtors. Yeah, guess what? NAR, that's what it stands for, non-active realtors. Guys, we got to do productive things. And 80% of the industry are doing the exact opposite. We talked about standard operating procedure, yes? We talked about making calls, direct mails, client appreciation. They're not doing any of that stuff. They're just there to talk about current situations and to complain about it. Get away from those people. Right? Get away from those people. Don't hang around with those people. Hang around with people here, right here in this call, right here. Mastermind. Stop listening to non-active realtors. The next one is understand that 20% of your activities will lead to 80% of your results. When we say lead generate, it doesn't even mean you have to sit there for 8 hours and make calls, folks. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you have to do 8-hour open houses. With consistency, if you pick up your intensity, guess what? The rest of the day, you can do whatever you want. In this game of real estate, if you don't have appointments, guess what? You do not have business. Everyone write this down. I'll give you some ratios to work on, right? Because if you track something, it always grows. It always improves. So I'm going to give you some ratios. You guys ready? So we mentioned the top producers in the industry work 68% of the year. That's 248 days, right? Give or take. Everything's accounted for. Like Jose was saying, vacations, emergencies, weekends, all that's accounted for. Here are the things that you need to track during those 248 days. Contacts. How many contacts are you making per day? That's the first one. The next one is based on those contacts, how many appointments am I going to? And we're talking strictly listings here. Once you go to that listing appointment, what is your closing ratio? What are you walking away with the signature? If you go to 10, how many are you getting? That ratio. The next ratio is, yes, you took that listing, but how many of them are actually selling? That ratio. There's 4 numbers that you want to keep track of. This will determine the predictability of your paychecks. Yeah, I know, it's a commission-based job, Joe, and I get it. But what if I were to tell you can track this stuff and have your paycheck almost come on a regular basis? Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy? Is that making sense, everybody? I can't see everyone here. Like, can I get a nod? You guys happy to be here? Yeah? Smiles? Yeah, you might want to tell it to your own face, right? You got to smile just a little bit, right? The next one is not understanding the 4 basic principles of real estate. There's only 4. It's prospecting, right? Which we kind of mask it sometimes as marketing or lead generation. Call it whatever you want, but we're talking to people. That's the first one. Lead follow-up, going on appointments, whether it be buyer or seller, and negotiating contracts. Those are the 4 basic principles of real estate. How often are you doing those things on a daily basis? So I'm going to sit here a little bit. Just think, how often am I doing these things? Prospecting, follow-up, going on appointments, which means that you're presenting.
Bless you.
Right? And negotiating those contracts. Yeah, something to chew on. So here's what we're going to go through to be super proactive and be successful in 2024. You guys ready? Number 1 is find high level of accountability. High level of accountability, interior and exterior. The fact that you have to get the job done for whoever you're working for, guess what? The job still has to get done. They're not looking for motivation. Intrinsically, they're already motivated because they're fighting for something. Right? Find a high level of accountability. In fact, do this exercise. Who has monetary goals? Raise your hand. Okay, so who has production goals? Just keep your hand raised like this. We have family goals, we have vacation goals, all these things. You know what? Tell those goals, not to everybody. Tell those goals to the people that are closest around you. And this isn't to brag, but to keep you accountable. If I hit this mark, Will, if we hit this mark, we going to Hawaii for 3 weeks. All the leaders, we're gonna group them up, and we're gonna have a fun time in Temecula. Find your accountability partner. And here's one of my favorite quotes. Accountability feels like an attack when you're not ready to accept your toxic behavior. But on the flip side of the coin, accountability feels empowering when you're ready to grow into your potential. So which one is it? You got to pick one. You have to pick one. You can't choose both. What does accountability look like for you? When I say, hey, show up, turn your accountants, does that make you feel a little bit uncomfortable? Guess what? Me and Jose and the other coaches, we're not here for your comfort. We don't really care for that. We're here for your growth. Does that make sense, everybody? We're here for your growth and your productivity. Now, we can have conversations, comfortable, friendly conversation afterwards, but we don't really care about your comfort. And I hope that's not too direct. But we really do care about your growth. The next one is you got to control your ego, folks. 2024, it's time to check your ego. You need a checkup from the get-go. How do we do this? I'm going to give you 7 steps on how to control your ego. The first one is you're not always right. For those of you that are writing offers, taking listings, the pricing of it, guess what? You don't have to be right. The market dictates the price. You don't have to fight, right? Like you don't have to just, you have to have standards as to how you set the price, but you don't have to be always right because price itself is dynamic. It's meant to move. And you got to think, if I'm not right about things all the time, will it matter tomorrow? Right? If it doesn't matter tomorrow, 3 years from now, then just move on. You don't have to fight for everything. You don't have to be a superwoman, a superman for everything. Does that make sense, everybody? Next one is you don't need to win all the time. If you're winning all the time, like you're at 100%, you're batting 100%, guess what? You're playing too small. I'll say that again. If you're closing every single deal, if every client wants to work with you, you're not doing enough business. We got to have seasons of win and losses, and those losses will teach a lot more than the wins. The next one is stop getting offended. Some of you right now, as I speak, that job, here it goes again. Stop getting offended. You're so easily controlled through reacting to everything. Listen with a neutral position. Right? You're ready to learn. You're ready to have your hearts open. Stop getting offended. Stop getting offended. Even if you were to get offended, no one really cares. Because everything's based on facts. Next one is don't be superior. Being a leader doesn't mean you have to be the best. It means you're adaptable and versatile. I talk about versatility all the time with the coaching clients. Guys, when we go to listing presentations, when we go to buyer appointments, it's not about us. It's not about how great your company is. It's what they need, what they want, when they want it, and how they want it. Does that make sense? And we ask questions based on that, finding out what their true needs are. That's what a leader does. Know when to stop. Know when to stop. There's a reason why we're not open 24/7, right? The tagline, I'm here for my clients 24/7, guess what? You're not a 7-Eleven. You're not a 7-Eleven. Guess what? If you're going, why are we doing the things that we're doing now in the first place? I do it for my family and my sense of purpose. Worrying about the future robs you of the peace that's in the now. And a lot of it, for those of you that have kids or spouses, they at least deserve you for the allotted times. Right? If the designated time, it's not about the attendance, it's about the presence. Right now, this meeting, this thing that we got going on in Zoom is the most important meeting for me right now at this moment. Will I have other calls? Will I have other meetings? Will I have other conversations? Absolutely. I'm not worried about those things. This call right now is my number one. Does that make sense? I hope you guys feel the energy on that. I don't move in the future. I move in the now. And I make this important. And I want you guys to feel the energy and the impact that's going to make in your business. Next one, you are not your career. You are not your career, folks. Rather than identifying through your success or failure, just be grateful for them. It's something that you do. It's not who you are. Just because you lost a listing doesn't mean you're a loser. Doesn't matter if you pick up 8 listings, doesn't mean you're a winner. This job, this career can be replaceable. You, in an integral part of a family or a community, you're irreplaceable. So stop identifying yourself as this or that, positive or negative. Am I making sense, everybody? Yeah, is that? I see some head nods. So both of you, thank you. Let go of control. That's the next one. Let go of control. The idea of perfection, the idea of not making mistakes. I tell my clients all the time, because you're so afraid of making mistakes or not making mistakes, you'll never get it right. I'll say that one more time. You're so afraid of not making a mistake, you'll never get it right. If you're not failing at things, Are you even trying at that point? We're meant to fail. We're not robots. There's no 100% success rate. So let go of control. Just let it go. It's okay. For those of you that are making a lot of calls, especially prospecting calls, this whole concept of not making a mistake or stutter during the calls and just, I want to sound professional. It's just bad energy. The energy doesn't come from a place of leadership and authority. It comes from servitude and this weak kind of like, well, I need you more than me type of this or that type of energy. Just let it go. If you want to get with good with on the phones or even in person, you just gotta let go of control. Let it go. The inhibitions. You gotta check your attitude, approach, and expectations every single day, folks. Every single day. Check your attitude, approach, and expectations. If your attitude's really good but your approach sucks, guess what? It's all in alignment. A equals B equals C. It's transitive, right? It just goes one to the other and equals all of it. The reason why we have a misalignment and we get stressed is we have crappy attitude. Our approach might be good, but our expectations are high, right? Or we have great attitude, great approach, but our expectations are really low. You're like, you get frustrated. Check your attitude, approach, and expectations. The next one, the winners have, there's one attribute great winners have is they have a high level of optimism. Optimism is one quality more associated with success and happiness than any other. The fact that the world is working for you, it works out for me all the time. The deal fell out, okay. I'm gonna get 2 more. A lot of the coaching clients that we have a huge amount of optimism. The only thing that overcomes hard luck is hard work. Now, do we have to have positive attitude, great approach, and high expectations? Of course we do. But guys, a lot of us simply just do not work hard. We don't have the work ethic to back up the level of expectation that we have. Work ethic is foundational. It's basic. You got to have these things. It's not a value proposition. You being full of integrity and being honest, that's already implied by your state license. It's not a value proposition. That just means you're a good human being. Does that make sense? So when someone says, hey, why should I hire you? And your answer is, well, because I'm honest and I work hard, that simply means you haven't created enough value in the eyes of the buyer or seller. And that's a whole nother topic, that's a whole nother class. Start practicing JOMO. Does everybody know what JOMO is?
JOMO? No.
Joy of missing out. That's right, folks. Joy of missing out. Be abnormal. Don't follow the crowd. Earl Nightingale, don't be afraid of being different. Be afraid of being the same as everybody else. There's a saying, you laugh at me because I'm different, I laugh at you because you're all the same. And how do we practice JOMO and be abnormal in the industry? All the stuff that we just talked about. Have an SOP, right? Starting hours, ending hours. Do you practice? Do you do aggressively follow? How's your presentation? How's your objection handling skills? All that stuff. From 1 to 10, where is it? I guarantee you that 80% of the industry isn't doing any of this. Once you think it's probable, it can be possible, and then it will be inevitable. Your success that you guys are looking for, that we're yearning and we're checking in every day and being consistent within high intensity, guess what? It becomes inevitable, but it starts with you thinking it's possible. You have to believe. You have to believe. The discipline that comes with hard work and all that stuff, that's a byproduct of your level of faith. If your faith sucks, your obedience, your level of work ethic is going to suffer. But if your faith is really high that everything is going to work out and have God looking out in my favor, guess what? Guess what? The discipline's going to be there as a byproduct. That was a little deep, right? That was a little deep. You got to differentiate difference. You got to know the difference between the want now versus what you want most. A lot of people exchange what they want most for what they want now. Oh, you know what? I don't have to take that class, or I don't have to study for this, or I don't want to practice my presentation skills. I just want to chill right now. I just want to hang out. You trade what you want most for what you want now. Instant gratification. We live in the world of instant gratification. The more you delay it, the higher level of success that you might achieve. Next one. Some of you want opportunities, but still wanting for permission. This is a big one, folks. Go out and create it. In fact, I bless you and I keep you. I give you permission to go create the life that you want, the business that you want to have. Some of you, even during calls, you ask for permission. Oh, can I speak to? Yeah, I'm looking for Bob. How about that? I'm looking for Bob. I know the home was, you took the home off the market. When do you plan on relisting it? Or is it, oh, well, can I speak to, Sally Sue? And, I just noticed. Go create the opportunities that you guys are wanting. Don't ask for permission. Go get it. Go create something. The next one, don't worry about the stuff you can't control. Guys, all the stuff that's happening out in the world, it isn't to say be apathetic about it. I'm willing to help. But at a certain point, we got to take care of in-house first before we start taking care of outside the house. Does that make sense? Like inside the house is what matters most. And then through high production, high profit, then we can make a real impact on our communities, close and far. I hope I'm speaking to the right people here. Don't hang with negative people. That's the next one. Don't hang with negative people. You know the red flag in real estate is? I'll tell you one thing. And if you see this, run fast as you can away from these people. The red flag is certain real estate agents create this reality for themselves and they complain about that reality. I'll say it again. They'll create their own reality, but they'll complain about it. Do you know how asinine that is? And asinine isn't a bad word, folks. Do you know how off-putting that is? That's a red flag. Get away from those people. And I'll say this. You can't change the people around you, but you can change the people around you. I know sometimes it's family members and, Diaz and Dios. I get all that. Well, you can love them from afar.
Redheads.
Because some of the most negative people we have is in our inner circle. You know what? Let's dial that back.
No offense.
In fact,
She's
even
a
if
true
you have a
redhead.
supportive community, you should start speaking negatively about yourself. When are you going to take care of yourself? When are you going to love yourself? When are you going to respect yourself? Quite often we hear, hey, treat people the way you want to be treated. How about you treat the way, right? You treat yourself and the other people will reflect that. Don't feed on the past, positive or negative. Guys, as real estate agents, as lenders, as soon as it goes into escrow or get paid, we're jobless. We're unemployed. We have to go get the next one. What if it fell out of escrow? Great, go get the next one. Oh, you just closed on something? Go get the next one. Start from zero every single day. Don't feed on the past. The greatest attribute of business we can have as a business is short-term memory. It's a must. And I'll go back to this. Do not put yourself last in your list of priorities. Really don't. Guys, we often, I don't know what culturally, where you come from, but a lot of this form of what love is an action word, right? Our parents sacrificed, their parents sacrificed. I get all that. But there need to be a time of self-love, self-respect. We gotta get fed ourselves. A lot of us go, and we neglect ourselves. So do not put yourself last. Treat yourself with love, respect, care, and all that good stuff. Keep your word. Keep your word. Honor your commitments. If you say you're going to be here, be here. If you're going to say, hey, I'm going to be on time, be on time. Hey, I'm gonna do 30 deals, do 30 deals. Well, John, I wanted to. And for those of you that coach with me, I don't really care about excuses and reasons and rhymes as to why you couldn't get it done. We got to get it done. The goal doesn't move. Our habits move. Right? It's got to move upwards. Once you set that goal, right? Those of you that know Ron Propel, that you set it and forget it, you set it and forget it. If you're going to move your goals, it better go upwards. We're adjusting daily habits. Keep your word, honor your commitments. I mean, this is self-explanatory. Persevere and quit. You're not a failure if you don't quit. Quitters are true failures. Don't quit. Your success that we've been looking for and we've been fighting so hard, it's a matter of when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. You stay in something long enough, guess what? You're gonna learn something. And coaching is like Novocaine, just give it some time, it'll work. Right? Like with anything else, your community, your mastermind, like Novocaine, once you get the shot, just wait, just give it some time, it's gonna work. Next one, don't think. Don't overthink. Take action. Some of us, when the weather's right, when the Earth hemisphere is this way, this angle, the sun rises from the east. Guys, don't overcomplicate things. It's very simple. Just take massive inspired action. Massive inspired action. And lastly, guys, don't take criticism or praise to the heart. Don't take criticism or praise. Man, Eric, man, that's amazing, right? And don't fall into it. Say thank you and move on. Well, I think you should work on this, and don't take it as criticism. Thank you, I'll work on that. Make sense, everybody? Has that been helpful? Is this okay? So some of you, okay, good. Natalie put that picture of Borat. Thank you, and we're gonna open up to. I think I'm gonna throw it back to Jose, and we're gonna do some Q&As. So that's it for me, Jose.
Awesome. Let's give it up to John Kang. Great job, my man. Great job. Very inspiring. You hear that? Very inspiring. Very inspiring. Love it. All right, guys. We just need a couple more minutes of your time. John, if you can give me back the hosting privileges, that'd be awesome. Okie dokie. All right. Here, we're gonna end here with a couple of really, really brief little things here. I'm gonna go back to listings. Why is it important to take listings now? Well, let me hit a couple of you guys right between the eyes, okay? Well, and John mentioned it earlier, I mentioned it before that too, the way we do business as real estate agents is changing. It's changing. As we speak, there is major litigation going on that we cannot control. Something's going to happen. How quickly? I don't know. It could be 3 months from now. It could be 3 years from now. It could never happen. I don't know. But there's a lot of things going on right now. Let me give you an example. Redfin just eliminated all of their salaried position for real estate agents. Now they got to work. That's just one thing that's happening. Another thing that's happening is you have major brokerages across the country settling right now while the getting's good. RE/MAX is one of them. They settled for $55 million and said, I don't want any more of this right now. You guys can hassle it out. Here you go. Let me go about my business. But that means that the pot's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars of settlements going on right now that is going to change the way that we do business. And when I say change, I'm not saying we got to panic. I'm saying that we have to increase our skill set. Because automatically what we start to think is, okay, what objections do I need to come up with or learn so that I can preserve my buyer commission? That's the wrong approach. The approach should be, how do I increase my skill set so I can get more listings so that I can then continue and persevere? I mean, there's brokerages that are pulling completely out of NAR. That's going to, again, something big's going to happen. Gary Keller's already been on the witness stand. He's already been questioned. They're trying to preserve the way it is. I just don't know if it's going to happen. Well, can you just give us a little what is happening? 2 seconds. Those are key points right here. Okay, key points. There's a lawsuit right now called the Sitzer Burnett case. It started on the 16th and it's going on right now. A group of sellers got together and said, why do I have to pay commissions for not only the listing agent but for the buyer agent too? It's not fair. And that's the lawsuit. Sellers got together by the droves and said, why do I have to pay their commission? I hired you. Why do I have to pay for them? So that means if you're a listing agent now, kudos to you. Continue building your skill set, go get more listings. If you're a buyer's agent right now, you have the opportunity right now to start to build your skill set so that you can learn how to take more listings now. Because I'm going to remind you guys right now, when COVID hit in March of 2020, a lot of people's business retracted for a little bit because you couldn't door knock, you couldn't do open houses. Hell, in some states that are here, they couldn't even make phone calls. They were prohibited to making solicitation calls. So the first thing that happened was, Jose, well, what do I do? Well, the question was, well, do you have a database? No. How many years have we been saying to create a database? Because you can call your database, you're just making a friendly phone call. Hey, ¿cómo estás? And as a result, those people, I mean, granted, we know now that COVID was a blessing to a lot of people. I mean, if you had a pulse, you made a lot of money. Now those people are slowly going away. There was a 16% retraction of real estate agents just this year alone that couldn't pay their NAR dues. They couldn't pay their fees. With a number to be expected more in 2024. And it's just going to keep going up. So it's important that you start to think about, what do I have to do to increase my skill set, to change my daily habits, to increase my discipline so that I can know how to take more listings? Well, let me give you a solution. Join our community. The first thought was, oh, how much is it going to cost me? Here's another expense. I'm going to tell you, the fastest, quickest, most economical way for you to build your skill set is to join our community, and that's only $97 a month. You get access to 16 to 20 role play sessions every single month. But wait, there's more. There's a lot of lenders here. In the very near future, we're going to be introducing lending role play. Ooh. I just sparked up some whatever. I can't think of the word. Some excitement. Go to my website right now, josezavalza.com, click on the role play option, sign up, and guess what? You join today or by the end of the month, your first month is 50% off. So you're telling me that $50 to start, you can get started and in a community that we're just going to practice scripts on how to take more listings. And the environment is through Zoom. Okay? I don't care if you just woke up. I don't care if you're whatever. I don't care. The whole point is for you to show up. You need to show up for yourself. It's 8:30 in the morning Pacific time. It's 11:30 East Coast. We go for 1/2 hour, 4 days a week. $50 to get started, $97 thereafter. It's that simple and that easy. And that very economical. Any questions, comments, concerns before I end with actually bringing up a couple of our people? And I'm going to let them tell you themselves. Carlos, if you're there, if you can unmute yourself really quickly. I kind of showcased you a little bit, and I shared your successes. But if you're there, can you unmute yourself and share with me, how important is it for you to role play every day? How important is it for you to stay involved in a community every single day?
I mean, it changes your mindset. And I think the biggest thing is the mindset, right? It changes the way you think, the way you work, and you become more efficient. That's what the biggest thing for me. From last year, this year, I'm more efficient. I have set plans. Everything has a plan. How I do things, how I work, and I don't think I would have done that without coaching. That's the honest truth.
Yeah. $100,000 his first year. You're barely going into year 3, and you're already close to $200,000 in GCI. Again, the numbers don't lie. Mindset and coaching were his 2 biggest things that he changed. Now, he does one-on-one. It's a little bit different, but I'm telling you, just to get started, today is $50. We spend $50 on Starbucks. I know I do, at least I do. Start que un panecito, que una cookie, and the mango dragon fruit lot, whatever the heck that my kids order. It's $50 one time at Starbucks. I need your clients. But you get what I'm saying? If you're by not taking this risk, you're already taking a risk by not investing into yourself. That's así de fácil, te las voy a pintar. By not taking a risk today, you are flirting with taking a risk on what's to come. Yes.
How important do you think genuine coaching with you guys is?
How genuine?
Or how success rate of having a coach and full time. How often do you coach your people that are?
When I do one-on-one, it's sessions, 1 session a week, and we do a group session, and we do the role play 4 times a week.
Does Carlos do that?
Carlos does that, yeah. Carlos, tell him who your coach is.
My coach is John Kang.
Now, you guys saw how John Kang is. He'll hit you right between the eyes. He don't care. He don't play. John, when we were producing, he challenged himself and he said, I'll do more listings than all you guys in 90 days. How many listings did you take, John, in 90 days?
32.
32. He knows how to take a listing.
How many do you sell?
34. He sold 34 of them. And I'll tell you how he did it. Just calling. It was the most effective, most efficient way. He didn't have to leave. He can prospect in a pair of shorts. Boom, 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 boom. Vamos, vamos, vamos. The appointment set up in the afternoon. Go home and change whatever. Change into a suit that's hanging in the whatever. Vámonos. That's simple. That's simple. So, with that said, I want to thank everybody for your time, your attention. I hope our hope and our mission and our objective is that you got something out of today. Is that, again, there's numbers, and the numbers are important. But what we wanted to get into is the mindset, the strategies, the tips, the tricks, everything on how to get you there. If you want to be a part of our community, again, go to our website. Send me a message. I'll get you connected with somebody. $50 today gets you started. If you have questions on one-on-one, again, you can reach out to me later. It's not a problem. With that said, thank you all. I appreciate your time. God bless you guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.